All right, beloved. The first thing I want to tell you all is today is the first Sunday of Advent. And Advent is a season of waiting. It's an ancient invitation that comes our way to slow down, to be still, and to get comfortable. So the season invites us to mark these days and to make them count. If you are looking for a guide that moves you through the Advent season, on your way out of the sanctuary to the right, there's a table that has a Unity publication. We have it in both English and in Spanish. It's our Advent booklet. I will be using that booklet to ease me through every single day of the season. And let me tell you why. Did y'all know that in the month of December, that the month of December is as dark as it gets here in our hemisphere? Y'all knew that? I should have checked in with y'all then, because I didn't realize that we get more hours of darkness in December. And does anybody else wear themselves out during the month of December? Let me tell you why I wear myself out. I don't like to drive at night. I don't like to be outside at night. I don't know why. I'm not scared. I just don't want to be out there. And what I find myself doing is trying to take, I guess, what these few hours of daylight are that we have. I try to get everything crammed into those few hours of daylight. And by the time I get to Christmas Eve, I am one big, whoo, Jesus. What are we going to do? So this idea of darkness during the month of December, it heralds home the idea that we are waiting for the light. Just waiting for it. Now, I live in a home where I have set everything that I possibly can on a timer. So I don't have to wait very long. The lights just come on by themselves. And that's how this season is. The light is already programmed to illuminate at the very moment that we needed to do so. So unlike last week, my talk title is indeed correct, and it means what it says. The talk title is There is No Place Like Home for the Holidays. I started to think about this on so many different levels. I realized that it has been 28 years since I returned to the place where I grew up for the holidays. So much so I even called my sister and I said, hey, do I need to make a quick trip down to Louisiana? And I could hear the confusion. She was like, what? What you gonna do that for? I was like, well, okay, good. I don't have to do that. I can stay here where we shovel sunshine for a living. But the thing that I realized is that home is more than this place where we are from, or the place where we lock up all of our belongings when we're not there. That home can mean so much more than an address, a zip code, a geographical location that appears on some map in some place in time. So I looked at the talk title and I realized that the key to this message is in the first 6 words. There's no place like home. I know this to be so because the prophet Dorothy told me so. There's no place like home. So I asked myself the question, what is home? What if home is more than we have ever imagined? That being so, what if we allow home to be a state of mind, a way that we live our lives in this day and age? What if we allowed ourselves to be the physical manifestation of home to another being? Home to another person that we sit down with at potluck today that we may have never seen before. And we allow ourselves to be home for them and for them to be home for us. What if that space is a place of shared memories that run on loop in our mind, and every sentence that we can start to drum up starts with, remember that time? Remember that day? Remember that moment? That home is the space that lives within us every single day and activated by the memories that we have said that are important. Then I pushed the envelope a little bit further. What if home is wherever I am? Now, I watch a whole lot of HGTV just because I fantasize putting my shoes in a tiny house, because that's all I own that would fit in a tiny house. Because if I go to a tiny house, I need my shoes, my clothes, my dog, my wife, my books. They all need a tiny house, all of them own, so now it's a tiny village. But what if Home is like living in a spiritual RV, a sacred tiny home where you have just enough space for the things and the people that matter. What if you could really take what matters to you on the road from moment to moment, experience to experience? So today, UCFL, I say to you, what if home is a space of beginning in you? That ties so well into the celebration of the Advent season where we are waiting on the light. What if home in you is the place where the light of truth resides? What if that is the place where you are the key and you are the code that gives you access to that place in you? I realize that home for a lot of us is a point of origin in our heart and the soul of humanity. That home for me is where my garden is. It's where the seeds are planted. It's where my shoes, because y'all know I love shoes, where my shoes are stored. It is the place where the roots of our being begin to push down into the earth such that there is a steadiness that can be experienced. That home, beloved, it's not a place where we go. It's not even a place where sometimes we leave it behind. But home is in the very place where we are. And it only is true all of the time that home is right here in us. Now, those of us who spend considerable time on a computer or using a phone or in a car with a navigation system, to go back to the beginning, there's a little icon that looks like a house. And it often says home. To go back to the beginning, we have to click the icon of what looks like a house, and once we click it, we are transported to where we were, where we want to go, and sometimes there's a little bit of guidance that comes with how to get us there. That home is a point, the moment that all of who we are and who we were created is drawn back together. All the pieces and all the parts that the world has fragmented and scattered out to the corners of existence, home is that place where it all starts to work, where we realize the truth of our being. That home is the moment that all of who we are is right here, right now. And when I consider that during the holiday season, I know that we find new ways of being home, first for ourselves, and then ultimately for other people. And being home is a spiritual practice that involves our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And to that I can testify and say, yeah, there is no place like home. Because I believe that when all the pieces of us come together, that it is like an Ashford and Simpson song that says, ain't no stopping us now. When all of who we are, all of the truth that we know, it comes back together and our memory is rekindled, our joy is enlivened, and everything that we know ourselves to be, it comes to bear. There ain't no stopping us now, because there is indeed, beloved, no place like home. Can we say that together? There is no place like home. Amen? Eric Butterworth talked about this idea of home. He talked about the journey home. I got real excited because I like a journey, because my soul said road trip. Because whenever there is a road trip, that means that there are two things that are true: good snacks and good music. And so if I am going to journey within to this place called home, I have enough to sustain me, and I have the music to motivate me to move forward. So during this Advent season, UCFL, I invite you to consider the journey home. Not to a place, not to a time, but to a way of being within yourself. Going back to somewhere you have been time and time again, which means the very soul of you knows the way. My soul knows the way. Can we say it together? My soul knows the way. He talked about the idea of the journey home, not as this point-to-point journey, but that journey is the moments that it takes for us to remember and realize the truth of who we are. You see, when we remember that, there is indeed no place like home. Because when I reconnect with my truth, not only can nothing stop me, I am so free that you just might want to get out of my way. Because the truth that I know allows me to be free, which means that the truth that I know helps me remember who I am. That I am the head and not the tail. That I have been forgiven. That I am loved, I am worthy, I am more than enough, I am prosperous, I am that I am, and that's all right with me. Because that is the truth of who I know myself to be. It's almost like if you look on the inside of your clothing and you have those little tags that you can hardly read that say to you, don't wash this on hot, don't mix this with different colors. The idea of our way home is as close to our being as that tag is to us, and it is wherever we are. So when I think that there is no place like home, now I go, how do I combine the idea of no place like home to home for the holidays? When combining all the ideas of what is home, what home has been to me, what home is to me, and what home can be, the magic of the holidays join that, and our ideas of home start to expand. How many of you all put up your Christmas trees? I wanted to put it up at Halloween, but I got poo-pooed on that one. I've been trying. So the trees are up, the lights are on, it is festive. When we add the magic of the holidays to it, we get decorations, we get traditions. Sometimes we get the warmth of people we care about in our presence. We get special meals, and we get an overall cozy and joyful atmosphere. So when I combine that with the idea that home is where I am, that means all of that travels with me. That the spirit of Christmas is not locked up in my home waiting for me to get back. That the very spirit of the season travels, and it is with me wherever I stand in a moment. So the combination of these unique elements, it creates an experience that can only be found and known during the holiday season. Because it gives us a chance to be more kind than we usually are, more present than we have thought ourselves to be. It opens the door to more goodness, more light, and more truth. The mystery of the season is that there is no place like home, because home is the truth of who we are. And beloved, here's the thing about who we are. There is not a message that is accurate that will come external to you. The truth of who you are is the message that will broadcast live and live in color from within you. Who you are. I recognize that during this season that a part of who I am, and recognizing that we are the face of God. It reminds me of the truth that God is with us. I am complete. That when I settle into a moment, I think of you, I pray with you, and I do good things. Because, beloved, there is indeed no place like home. No place that I would rather go, no place that I would rather be. So this Advent season, I invite you to settle into the space of waiting for the reconnection to the truth of your being. Listen to the stories of your goodness. Look for the light of who you are to shine through every single moment of your day. To lift up your voice and sing a new song. So this holiday season, while we measure the effectiveness of the season either by how much money we spend or how much money we have left over, how bright our lights are, did we win the neighborhood decorating contest, is my tree taller than your tree? But today, I want to call you back to that space of home within you, to rekindle the truth of the light of the season that shines bright no matter where you are. That truth of the light of you where you know that no matter what, ain't no stopping us now. So UCFL, I don't know how long it will take us to remember all that we were created to be, to remember the name that the divine calls our soul. But the one thing that I know is that none of us travel the journey within alone. So from my family to yours, I wish you a blessed Advent season, because whatever it is that we are individually and collectively waiting for, it's more than we could ever, ever imagine. So I invite you to make room in your heart. Make room in all that you do, and trust that whatever it is, that we already have it within us. Because all that you are right here and right now. So since nothing can stop us, nothing can get in our way, beloved, when you look in the mirror each day, trust, know, and believe that there is absolutely no place like home, and especially during the holidays. So I release these words to stir up the goodness that I already know is in you. And I say amen. Ashe, ashe. And so it is.